Alright, so let's go have a look at that nuclear reactor that I just installed. This fits right into the wall here. Just flip this lever. And it's already stocked the way I want it. My good old standby. Or really, everyone's good old standby. Because frankly, this is just a really cogent build, you know? 4 uranium cells. Stick them in here. Boom. Shut this. I ran some cabling down here. And if you notice, this thing is surrounded in reinforced stone. Should this thing explode, which it should not, everything should be fine. What? 111? I'm losing more, aren't I? So I have 2 generators going right now, so that should be 140. You know how this is. It's just being a jerk. I really have no idea why that's doing that. Whatever. Tired of nitpicking. Let's just go. Oh yes, here we go. Look at this. Progress. It's going. Pretty good progress too. It's gonna use up my scrap, I think. So, since I did build this off camera, I'll go and showcase this a bit. Come swimming out here, you notice there's a nice little corridor here, and I put some glass just to make it look nice. But this entire thing is encased in reinforced stone and reinforced glass. So no blast is going to get into my stuff. And the squid is stuck on the wiring. You jerk, get off of there. Stop it. Now this seems important. I've frequency 8 here. Reactor disabled. I actually don't quite remember what this is from, because I built it like 2.5 weeks ago. Alright, I'll have to figure this out. Hello, jumble of junk in my to-do chest. That is ominous. Hey. It's interesting how I laid this stuff out for myself earlier. Just ahead of time. Do it far enough ahead of time to just completely forget what I was doing. So let's make the first thing. The thermal monitor. Oh, that's what I was doing. And apparently I want 3 information panel extenders. Okay. Aha, and the industrial information panel. It appears that I want 2 digital thermometers. And to upgrade my thermal monitor into a remote thermal monitor. Ah, yes, and I need to make a remote sensor kit. Or rather, 2 of them. 1 for the monitor and 1 for the panel. All I have to do is take my remote sensor kits and right-click with this, and I get sensor location cards. Need 2 of them. These are mostly safety precautions, really, but they also look kind of cool. And honestly, this is about the safest reactor I could make. But, you know, like I always say, better safe than exploded. Where exactly do I want to put these? I don't have a lot of room anywhere. It's a very perplexing predicament. Okay, let's stop doing that. This chest has no business being here anymore. I believe I wanted to put them here. Yeah, that will fit very nicely. Industrial information panel right there. And 3 extenders. Now for this thing to run, it needs to have a redstone signal, as well as a location card. And of course, it's very far away. I'm going to need some range upgrades. Alright, logistics system, prepare to have some junk added to you. Electronic circuit and a copper cable make the frequency transmitter. Let's just do that one over here. Import. Now I can make frequency transmitters. Give me some cables. One of those transmitter dealies. Put this in here. That is the range upgrade. Import, but take out the frequency transmitter. Put that in satellite number 2. So I should be able to pull out some range upgrades. Let's pull out about 10. There's 1. And it only took 2.5 minutes for some reason. Alright, 10 range upgrades. Now let's uncheck things I don't want. Let's put in 1, 2, 3. 3 will do it. The reactor is on. Outputting 120 EU per tick. About 2.5 hours left in its cycle. And the temperature's only at 700. Now let's say I want to use this thing. This remote thermal monitor. I'm actually going to put him down here. Anyway, all I have to do is connect the remote thermal monitor to low voltage, which I could just go ahead and put it down right here. I'm just gonna wrench this sucker so he's facing this way so I can see it. And if I put in a reactor sensor location card, this thing will now start outputting a redstone signal when it reaches the level I have it set to. If I put in range upgrades so that it can see the thing, it'll put out a redstone signal because it's already... that nuclear reactor has already reached 500 heat. I'm going to set this to about 7,000. Generally for this type of reactor it won't reach that high in one cycle, but if I forget and try to put a second cycle on it or something, this will stop it. And I can simply go like this. Since it's at 0, it is currently disabled the nuclear reactor. If we come up here, it's on. So now if I replace this wire with a piece of redstone, it should disable it. And it has. So now that I know that's working, I'm going to set this back up to a higher value at about 7,000. So should this reactor actually approach the level of overheating, it will stop. Now if you're not really keen on how nuclear reactors work, just a brief overview. All these little pieces in here, I separately crafted each one of these. Coolant cells you've seen before. They were just water cells run through an extractor. The integrated heat dispersers have a slightly more complex recipe, but I pulled them out of my system. Gotta love logistics pipes, right? These uranium cells actually power each other up. Normally, each uranium cell would only get a small amount of energy, but when you start surrounding them with more uranium cells, they both generate more energy and more heat. Now, this system is nice because the amount of heat generated and the amount of heat dissipated, or wicked away, really, is almost equal to the point that the heat that does build up will not reach the point of explosion or danger by the end of the life of these uranium cells. Now what that means is these 4 uranium cells will be used up, and this nuclear reactor will take another 30 or so minutes to cool down before I can put in new uranium cells. Because these parts are all taking damage. If I pop NEI up, you can actually see the damage values. And what's happening here is the uranium cells are giving their heat to adjacent objects. For example, this coolant cell is taking this uranium cell's heat directly, as well as this one, but this integrated heat disperser is taking the objects around it and averaging their heats. So, even though these two would normally bear the brunt of this uranium cell, this one's also wicking it away to this one. And seeing as this one is also adjacent to this heat disperser, all of these can effectively be connected, at least to some degree. Now there's also something called integrated reactor plating, which you can put in here, and it increases the amount of overall heat that a nuclear reactor can handle. However, you may have noticed I'm not using any of those. This build doesn't need them. Now if you're a fan of the new type of nuclear reactor design, this type of design may seem incredibly simplistic, and honestly, in comparison, it really is. But I'm still on Minecraft 1.2.5, and this is a very tried and true reactor design, and it's about time I got some proper energy generation. And now that I hooked up all these bells and whistles, it's completely safe. So this thing's gonna go for another 2 hours, generating me some more UU matter, and I don't have to worry about a thing, because it can't explode. Now I've opened this to-do chest and left this thing in the top right-hand corner by itself so very many times that I am just going to go ahead and make it. You've probably seen this off in the corner several times and said, "Hey, I know what that is. Are you gonna make that?" Well, I meant to, but I haven't gotten around to it until now. Boom. Assembly table. Now, of course, the Buildcraft assembly table needs lasers, and I've already sent this project table up to make lasers. And a very specific amount, too. Boom. 9 lasers. Now, I believe I want to set this assembly table up in this room, right where this torch is. Now, I'm going to want a chest right beside this, because that's where the products go. And inside the assembly table, I'm going to stock it with some ingredients that I know it's going to need. Now, the assembly table itself doesn't need power. These lasers, on the other hand, do need power. And I found the other day that you don't necessarily need to put the lasers somewhere that makes sense. Generally, you would put a laser somewhere like here, pointing down at this machine. And when the laser gets power and the machine has work to do, the laser would point down towards the machine. However, it will actually point toward the machine regardless of whether or not it makes sense for it to do so. So basically, I could just come down here and put the lasers down right here. 3 rows of 3. And what I found, this is my favorite design for this, simply align 9 of these like this, and then put 3 conductive pipes in the middle, and they'll be touching all of them, and only once. You need to be careful about how you run these, because if you do make these conductive pipes touch each laser more than once, it will attempt to put additional energy into that laser that is both unnecessary and unusable. In effect, you will be wasting your energy. So I just need to connect these. I lost me liver. Guess I'm gonna have to run this out here, just through the wall. Just pretend this isn't here. The squids get stuck in the weirdest places. Are they this derpy in real life? What? You saw that, right? That's a block. That is a block. What are you doing? You just threw me down through a block. What are you doing? Okay, let's try that again. I wanted to break this block. And I came right here. And you did it again. What are you doing? You know, I don't know what that is, but I'm gonna blame that on my new nuclear reactor over there. It's making some sort of radioactive marble now. I'll just connect these guys. Alright. Those are connected, 9 of them, and they are all within range of this assembly table. So, as soon as I tell it to do something, and I turn these engines on, I should be cooking with gas. So, for instance, let's tell it to make some red pipe wire, some blue pipe, and yellow pipe wire. Turn the engines on. The biogas engines will heat up and start putting out energy. Now, these lasers are blue at peak efficiency, and this one is blue, but I think it's also a lighting glitch, kind of. It's blue-ish. Anyway, I did a bunch of testing, and this is actually the perfect engines to laser ratio here. I've got 6 5 MJ per T engines for 9 lasers. And they go super, super fast. You see, they made all of that wire very, very quickly. I'm going to put some red wire in here. And I'm going to ask you for some... Let's go golden chipset. Let's just go right to the golden. Now, chipsets take a lot longer to make than wire, but, you know, whatever. And the really nice thing about this is those lasers will go through blocks and not harm anything. See, check them out. They're still going. No matter that it looks kind of weird. It's very compact, and it's hidden. And it works. So it's produced me a redstone golden chipset. There are iron and diamond varieties as well, and as you probably guessed, the better the material, the more useful the product. Now I could just use this chipset as a way to get cheaper logistics pipes, and I may very well just do that. But you can actually make gates with these guys that you can put on other pipes, and they're kind of like logistics pipes, honestly, but they're the original logistics pipes, and they're more expensive. Now, at the moment, I don't have any specific use for this, but it is just nice to have a working assembly table around that I can call on in case I need to make a buildcraft gate, or if I just want to get some cheaper logistics pipes, because it does go through gold very quickly. But mainly, that thing was sitting in my to-do chest for so long, I just had to be done with it, you know. I now have enough UU matter to make that chest plate. Get some iridium ore. 16, there you go. Alright, 1, 2, 3, 4 iridium plates. Ouch. And there we go. Quantum suit body armor. It carried over the charge from the nano suit body armor, which was not much. Alright, I forgot to jump. I'll do it later. So this thing's gonna take a cool 1,000,000 EU, which means my UU matter generation is going to be briefly stifled. So I just finished charging up on my junk. It's time to equip it. Oh yeah, don't I look exactly the same as I always do, because I took the textures of the armor away. But they're there. I may have noticed I stopped doing that on my multiplayer series because, it gets in the way, because you really need to know what people are wearing there. But single player, what the hey? Quantum suit. Yeah. Now is the part where I go find the creeper, taunt him to explode, and then just laugh. I hear zombies. I hear them, but I don't see them. Seriously, where are the zombies? Oh ho ho! I think I have found it. Oh, definitely. There's a cave. Quantum suit, back on. I'm quantumed up. Hi, zombie. Yawn. Oh, look. He's bored with this too. Oh, nope. Try it again. Yawn. Yawn. What else you got? Well, you sure are lit funny. What else you got, world? Zombie. Punch. Well, you get the idea. So I suppose it'd be a pretty good time to go back to the Nether. Yes, the Nether. I mean, I could go taunt some blazes and relieve them of their rods. Which, you know, in most countries would be a crime, but in Minecraftia, anything goes. To be continued. What? That is a block. What are you doing? And you did it again.